Good day, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to listen in to our customer panel here. We have three great customers who they're going to share the stories about deploying secure SD-WAN. We're going to start with Melvin here. Probably you can introduce yourself, tell us what you do, and the company, a little bit about the company that you represent.
Yeah, sure, no worries. Melvin Eanes, IHG, a little over 20 years with the company. IHG is a hospitality company with a global footprint of roughly about 6,200 hotels in 100 different countries with a pretty large footprint, as I said before, and a pretty strong growth market. So IHG is doing pretty good.
Excellent.
Yep.
Alonso?
Thank you, Rami, and thank you. Glad to be here. I'm Alonso Rivas. I work for Grupo Bimbo. I lead infrastructure services globally for them. Grupo Bimbo is the largest baking company in the world. We operate in 34 countries. We have over 200 bakeries, serve over 3 million points of sale on a regular basis with over 100 brands of our products. So with the purpose of nourishing a better world. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Thank you. Rodrigo?
Hi. Thank you, Rami. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is Rodrigo. I'm telecommunication manager from Itaú. Itaú is the largest bank in Latin America. We have more than 3,000 branches. We have 3 data centers, 3 clouds, and we have been implementing SD-WAN to interconnecting everyone in a full experience of our customers and clients.
Excellent. Thank you, Rodrigo. So let's dive in a little bit more about secure SD-WAN. Mm-hmm. So obviously, as you're in the hospitality business, you have to care about the customer experience, the guests who's coming in and checking in every day. And at the same time, you have the employees, the agents who are actually checking in the guests and accessing the applications and so on. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more what challenges that you actually had experienced before that drove you to consider secure SD-WAN?
Yeah, sure. There was quite a few things. IHG, at the property level, we were living on an older infrastructure, older architecture. So living on that older architecture brought with it those challenges, right? How do we deliver things at scale? How do we increase the customers or the guest experience at the property level? As you said before, we're very guest-centric. Mm-hmm. We're very guest-focused. Once again, it's important in the hospitality space for our guests to have a strong experience when they're on property. That's how we become profitable, right? Not only that, it's also, we're very owner-centric also. So we want to make sure that we're giving owners return on their value in their investments. At our property level, a lot of these initiatives are funded by the owner. So we have to make sure that our owners are along with that journey with us and understand that journey. Challenges we faced before we implemented this, just like I said before, an older architecture brings those attributes of slowness, not being able to scale, the lack of visibility across the entire estate. I've said this quite often, 6,100 hotels plus it felt like we had 6,100 data centers. Mm-hmm. How did that security posture, living in an older infrastructure, having that older security posture was something that kept me up at night. So looking at all those things and trying to understand how we can also, we looked at some solutions, one of our biggest platforms, the loyalty program. So this is when people stay at our property level, they use the loyalty program. So IHG was in the midst of deploying a new loyalty app, new loyalty program. A lot of our high value assets, our HVAs, sit above property. We need to deliver those down the property. Living on that older infrastructure, it was difficult to do those things and do it at scale and do it at mass. So those were a lot of the challenges we face. Having the front desk agent in front of guests, being able to check in guests, and having that experience of a slow network, that makes our guest experience not enjoyable, right? So something as simple as reducing that check-in time makes the experience better for our guests. Once again, we'll make sure our guest experience at the property is exceptional. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
Alonso, I know Bimbo is an international company. You have hundreds of sites, so maybe you can shed some light on the challenges that really drove you to consider Fortinet Secure SD-WAN.
Yeah, I think in the case of our company, we launched a very ambitious digital transformation. And when we started going through that, I mean, we recognized that definitely the connectivity and data integration was going to be one of the pillars, the other one, cybersecurity and the identity, to really enable this new platform, operating platform for the company. And also, in our case, our transformation was a top-down first, with going very aggressively to SaaS solutions, so multi-cloud, having to connect securely and access those applications, but supplemented with a bottom-up approach where the infrastructure as a service and platform as a service needs to provide that platform for operation. And definitely associated to that was the cost, how to improve the cost, but not just by sacrificing performance, but quite the contrary, increasing performance, reliability, without compromising security. So I think that for us, the SD-WAN solution with all the security characteristics and the flexibility that it brought to really enable that vision is what led us to that journey.
Excellent. Rodrigo, you mentioned you have 3,000 branches. You operate in Brazil and across Latin America, as well as you have presence across the world. So I would imagine things that you cared about is being compliant with regulations, ensuring the users or the customers' data integrity. So maybe you can tell us a little bit more about the things that you were facing that drove you to consider Fortinet Secure SD-WAN.
Yes, I mean, we have a CI regulation to follow. We have some points that are really important. And the first of all is security. We have to take care about the data from the user's data. It's very important. We have a security connection. The second point is very important, the user experience. Nowadays, we have many real-time applications, very sensitive jitter, delay, and problems in the WAN. And the last but not the least, the cost of the service provider links is the third point is really relevant when we think about the project for the WAN transformation, for digital transformation. It's SD-WAN is really important in these three points.
Excellent, thank you. So I think what I heard from the three of you is the experience is important. That was one of the challenges that you were facing, whether it's actually the users or the customer's experience. Also, what I heard is the risk, how you can mitigate the risk, is a security thing. And the third one I'm hearing is the cost, is how you can have the lowest cost, or TCO, if you will. One thing I would love to maybe, I know we touched on a little bit on why Fortinet Secure SD-WAN, but maybe if you can summarize, Melvin, for us, how did you pick the Fortinet Secure SD-WAN? What did you like about it? What do you think is really that stuck out for you that you said, okay, this is the solution I want? And maybe if you have any business outcomes that you can share with us, that'll be great.
Yeah, sure. I don't think my answer is going to be highly sophisticated.
No worries.
It was a very simple way how we got there, but I'll go back to that history for you. So we had tried to take this journey quite a few times within our corporation. So we started off with quite a few projects where we tried to do it internally and build that. We found out through trial and error very quickly that was not feasible. We didn't have the expertise, the labor, the startup, all those things to try to create that type of infrastructure inside to deliver that. So then we started looking at how we could do this from RFP, how we could go out to another vendor, MSP provider, to deliver what we wanted to deliver. We made a lot of mistakes once again along the way. We looked at a lot of major vendors. We had a full-blown RFP. We looked at the Ciscos of the world, the Palo Altos of the world, the IBMs of the world, everyone who's out there. Brought them in and really evaluated everything. We looked at all the scope we had. Once again, not a very sophisticated answer, but it's very true. It rings true. Best bang for the buck.
Excellent.
When I went back and we looked at all those failures, we wanted to look at what failed, and then we wanted to look at those attributes we wanted to bring to life, and what was more important. And when we did that deep dive, believe it or not, most of those things we wanted to bring to life right away all lived on the Fortinet device. That was another reason why we chose Fortinet. You met the right price point for us. You were in that sweet zone for us. You were literally, for lack of better terms, the best bang for the best buck.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Any business outcomes that you can share?
Yeah, great business outcomes. Day one, when we turned on the switch to go to SD-WAN, we reduced our round trip times by over 30%. That was day one. I think our round trip times are in the 50% range now. So what does that mean? That's just better delivery of the application to the property. So that's better performance and a better experience for both the guest and our property stakeholders.
Excellent.
Yep.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alonso.
I think very similar journey in terms of, I think for us was very important understanding the technology and the projection of it. I think when we saw the Fortinet going from a next generation firewall and all of a sudden being able to deploy the SD-WAN capability within that same fabric and platform, that really caught our attention. Everything else was fragmented. Every other alternative that we looked could lead us into a fragmented situation. So technology was important. But also, I think the ecosystem of managed service partners, for us in the global footprint that we had, that ability to execute across the globe with the right support, with the right technology, and the carrier being part of that equation was very key. And really that equation Fortinet really was able to fulfill in every direction. And obviously that led to the cost efficiency and also the ability to execute for us. I mean, on a regional basis, we had this approach and was able to be self-sustained with the right investment in the different operations that we have and also the right return of investment. And I believe there are two key outcomes that I would say. It's definitely the cost, but also the ability for us to really decide how to better balance the equation, reinvesting for the right performance for the application that we were deploying. It was not just what we had before, it was what was building for the future. So being able to do that, but also capture the significant savings that we were able to do, but also the reliance and performance that it brought to us. Definitely, bar none, after that, we had before with the traditional architecture, several complaints. You would say, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that redundancy. This brought a whole avenue of opportunities for us that with the platform we were able to capture.
Excellent, thank you. Rodrigo probably can share again with us what are the things that really drove you to consider the Fortinet Secure SD-WAN and some of the business outcomes?
Okay. First of all, Fortinet is very important partner from Itaú, a technology partner that can drove and show aspects about the technology and the benefits. Second, the Fortinet SD-WAN solution is leader of the Gartner. We really consider this kind of analysis, and we made a POV and POC, very strong number of tests and tests in laboratory, tests in production, and after that, this Fortinet solution is the better requisites because that we choose the Fortinet for implementation. About the business outcomes, we have I think the first of all is the user experience, that we have 14% less time response, for example, for cloud applications like Teams. Before, with the legacy one, we need to take the package from the branch, send the package for the data center, and after that, send to the cloud. Nowadays, we can use a security solution that we can send from the branch to direct from the cloud or from the internet. This is really important difference on the user experience. Another point really relevant, we have a centralized console management, and we can manage all firewalls for all branches in one point. This is for troubleshooting is really important. We can fix issue 20% more faster than before. This is really important to user experience as well. And the cost. The cost is a driver important too that can choose as well.
Excellent. So, and I believe you guys are managing the SD-WAN. You don't have a managed service provider doing this, correct?
Yes. We only have the links from the service provider, but all management is from our team, our support team, and run the bank team.
Excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Great. One thing I want to close with is I think the scale that Fortinet Secure SD-WAN is very important. In your case, you have thousands. I think you're in the hundreds, but you're in the thousands as well. The ability to scale and being reliable and stable at that scale is very important. Again, I want to thank you for taking the time. Thanks again. Good seeing you, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it. Yep.
All right, thanks again.